We look ahead to next week in the matchup in the Meadowlands with the Giants and the Redskins. Redskins are giving a game right now to the New England Patriots. It'll be a big game, no doubt, for the Giants. Green Bay Packers on our schedule as well, as they will take on the Kansas City Chiefs. That's next week. Today, it's a 6-3 game at the half. And Santa Claus at the half. He's no dummy. He proposed to a cheerleader. That is not the real Santa. I promise. But they're now engaged. Back with football after this. Some pretty good tackling. We've seen a ton of penalties and not many points. Total of 9. The Saints have 6 of them. You can follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Morstead will kick it away. That means the Titans. Mariani back, and we'll start with a football. Jake Locker, the rookie. First round pick out of Washington. Try to do something about the 3-point deficit. Mariani wants to take it. He fakes a throw across the field and has a decent return out across the 25. Let's go down to Pam. Pam.
Well, I brought the topic of the defensive strategy of the Titans on Jimmy Graham, and Mike Munchak said, you know, I'm going to talk to Jerry about it, but he basically deflected the whole thing. He said he's thrilled to go into the half with the score tied at 6, or the score 6-3. Meantime, speaking to Sean Payton, he said offensively, you know what, those are drive killers, those penalties. We have got to stop that. He said as for Graham, he considers him to be 100% at this point. Back to you.
All right, so maybe that back is starting to loosen up from the 26. Here's Johnson. Titans have got to get him going. It's a good start. His best of the day. Harper on the tackle, a run of 9 yards. See how generous they are, and it is a 9-yard run, 2nd down and 1. Take a look at the halftime stats, and not much on the ground from Chris Johnson. The total yards not that bad for the Saints, but only 6 points.
No, really good. You know, 200 yards and a half is a lot of production offensively. Chris Johnson just 5 yards rushing in that first half on 5 carries. That was the first time they were really able to get him out on the edge.
4 yards rushing for the team in the first half, and that first carry was for 9. This one's for a first down. Johnson gets 2. Dunbar on the tackle.
Well, you're going to see the way that the Saints swarm to the football. They bring in the extra guy, but he's over here. And so a lot of times when you start talking about, you know, okay, well, who's the extra defender down in there, and you know, how do you put a man on him? They also have Roman Harper up on that opposite side, but they're certainly flowing to the ball and corralling Chris Johnson when he gets it. They've done a nice job, but every team that plays Tennessee knows that he's going to get the ball, and yet they've been able to create some seams. Not so today.
Quick setup and throw, and it's too low for Nate Washington. Daniel Graham was out there as well. When you talk about 8 men in a box, as Hasselbeck left about 11 minutes into this game. Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator of the Saints, said Chris Johnson can basically block the unblocked guy because of the way he can cut back and make people miss. So you do that at your own risk. It's 2nd and 10.
Well, the whole key is to be able to get on him before he gets going. And they've been able to bottle him up other than the one run to start this second half.
Locker setting up quick. Hits Hawkins. Makes a move, and he's inside Saints territory with a Titans first down.
And Lavelle Hawkins, he's able to make the catch, but he's well short of the first down. Tracy Porter, he just is over aggressive to come up and try to make the tackle. Hawkins makes him miss, and first down Tennessee. And you know, they need to get something going offensively. You know, their defense has done a good job. We talk about the penalties and how those have killed a lot of these Saints opportunities, but to hold the Saints to 6 points, however it happened, a good job on their part.
15 yards for Hawkins. On first down, trying to get that running game going. Johnson a little better here at the start of the second half, gets 4. Will Smith on the tackle for the Saints. Second down and 6. Mike Munchak watching his rookie quarterback try and figure out the Saints, who come in ranked 27th in the NFL defensively. Fake it to Johnson. Rolling to his right, pass incomplete for Hawkins. And it's third down.
Bad throw there by Jake Locker. I mean, he's got to get that out on the sideline. They had an opportunity to make that play, but there's no question that Greg Williams, down after down, is committed to not letting Chris Johnson beat them. And so with that in mind, you're going to get a lot of opportunities on the outside, and it's just a matter of, one, the receiver winning on the route, and then Jake Locker delivering a good throw.
Third down and 6. Titans 0 for 4 on third down so far. Floated. Williams now 0 for 5 on third down. Robinson in coverage, and he was back there with Isa Abdul Kadus.
There's a little confusion in the secondary as to who had who. You see Locker's just a little short on that throw because Williams had Robinson beat up that sideline had he have been able to lay it down the field a little bit more.
And now Kern will try and pin the Saints down inside their own 10. Over the head of Sproles. Penalty flag is down. Sproles into the end zone, but a flag is down at the 42. Actually, 2 flags down in a game filled with penalties. Try and sort it out. The Saints are about to take over, up by 3. It's a 44-yard punt that went into the end zone.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both of them by the receiving team, both of them holding. 45 and 58. 58 is declined. 45 will be enforced from the touchback spot, 10 yards. First and 10 on the 10-yard line.
There you go, starting at their 10. We'll take a timeout where Drew Brees will begin, up by 3.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the all-new Volkswagen Passat 2012 Motor Trend Car of the Year. By Rise of the Planet of the Apes on Blu-ray and DVD in 2 days. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
That is the new Country Music Hall of Fame located in downtown Nashville. Ending up on our buddy George Strait as the pass is caught by Pierre Thomas, and he fights his way to the 16-yard line. A gain of 6. Ayers on the stop.
We talked a little bit earlier in the game, kind of the mechanics that the New Orleans Saints are going through because of the injury to Sean Payton earlier in the season. And, you know, right there, I don't know who he's communicating with, but he's got the playlist in his hand. And, you know, Sean may, in fact, be calling the plays right now. I mean, that's not something that was anticipated coming into this game, but it sure looks like it over there on the sidelines. If that's the case, this would be the first time he's called plays since he injured his knee.
Which happened in middle October at Tampa Bay. Ivory ran into a wall.
Because prior, Joe, the way it works on the sidelines for the Saints is whoever the play caller is, he's communicating the play then directly to Drew Brees. There's no third party involved. And when Carmichael is calling the plays, he's the one talking immediately to Drew Brees. But you can see he's not talking to anybody. So I don't know exactly when that took place, but certainly here in this second half, Sean Payton looks to be the guy making the calls.
Brees adds to his NFL record. Got 20 completions on the day, now 21. And he's got a first down as Colston makes the catch, good for 4. As you said, this is like a great running offense because it's just dinking and dunking, moving their way down the field. Very controlled passing game for Drew Brees.
Yeah, and he makes such good decisions that there's a lot of situations to where you may be a little hesitant to be aggressive, but you can make those calls with Drew Brees because you know he's going to protect the football.
Here is Ivory. On first down, Ivory gets 2.
And to follow up with that, with regards to Sean Payton, they have had success moving the ball clearly when he was not calling the plays, and he said it afforded him the opportunity to kind of oversee and manage the other parts of the game. Special teams certainly more involved than on the defensive side of the ball, and you wonder if then you're going to get away from calling plays in the future, but he anticipated saying that, no, play calling is something I do well and something I'll continue to do.
Second down and 8. Colston trying to get hot. He's got a first down catch out across the 30. This is the 6th Saints possession of the game. 5 of them have started at their 20 or inside the 20, as this one did at the 10.
But if nothing else, at least what Tennessee is doing defensively is making the Saints put together good plays. We haven't seen the 40-50-yard pass play down the field that sets up points and oftentimes touchdowns for the Saints offense.
They fake a throw to Sproles, and what a good play made on Pierre Thomas by Griffin. The free safety came up, made a stop, and a loss of 3.
Yeah, the last couple of times we've seen the Saints try to go with the screen pass. Tennessee has been there to snuff it out.
Loss of 2. 2nd and 12 at the 32-yard line.
See Michael Griffin, they're just not the offensive line, they just don't have a chance. Michael Griffin recognizes it. He's there to make a play before any of the uncovered offensive linemen are able to get a block.
On second down and 13, here's Sproles. He hesitates. He gets it out near the 35, a gain of 4. Finnegan, who was always around the ball, is in on the tackle.
Cortland Finnegan, 7th round pick, and what a career he has had, and he's been asked to do a little bit more in the defense this year on 3rd downs, which is what we're facing here. Jerry Gray's been using him more as the nickel corner, playing that slot receiver, a very important part of any nickel defense.
3rd down and 9. Blitz coming. Saints pick it up. Wide open Henderson. And Devery Henderson has a first down at the Tennessee 46. 19 yards to number 19.
Watch Pierre Thomas here and the job that he does, picking up the blitz off the corner. He protects Drew Brees' backside, and then you've got a free running receiver in Devery Henderson, really uncontested.
He becomes the 8th different receiver Drew Brees has found today. Picks up the 14th first down for the Saints. Drive started at the 10. Ivory gets nothing. Second down and 10. Talking to defensive coordinator Jerry Gray, said these Saints make you defend the entire field. They are such a challenge for any defense. There's their rookie middle linebacker Colin McCarthy. One of the Titans is down. One of Jerry Gray's guys. We'll take a break. Come back after this. Second round pick out of UCLA. Akeem Ayers got up and walked off the field. They look at him on the sideline. Second down and 10. This is the 10th play of this drive. Coming up for the Saints, 6 possessions have been at least 9 play drives. See if they put it up. They will. Brees Was bothered as he threw it. Penalty flag flies as Pierre Thomas has a first down inside the 25, but a flag is down. And it's a hold against Tennessee. The play will stand.
Well, they finally jammed on Jimmy
Before
Graham.
the pass, holding defense number 98 is declined. The play results in a first down.
That's against Dave Ball. Here's Graham.
Yeah, it's Graham trying to get off the line of scrimmage, and that's the hold that they called on Dave Ball, 98, defensive end. After they got the hold on him, and you see Jimmy Graham, he's expecting the flag. Had Drew Brees have hung with him, they turned him loose after they jammed him at the line of scrimmage. After they held him at the line of scrimmage, I should say.
Ball is across from him again. Sproles breaks loose. Down to the 10 with a first down for the Saints. Finnegan on the tackle, a run of 13 yards.
Well, right tackle Zach Strief does an excellent job blocking the point right here. You can see the job that he does, and Sproles is an explosive back, and he doesn't need a lot. That's a lot more than he really needs, and he gets into that hole, and then he's up on the secondary. Just an excellent job of execution by that offensive line.
Saints are number 8 in the red zone coming in. Scoring touchdowns inside this area at 56% of the time. Here's Pierre Thomas. They've been in now 3 times, and their first 2 trips have come away with field goals. It's now 2nd and goal.
Yeah, it's been the real key for Tennessee, is even though the Saints have gotten down to this part of the field, they have yet to yield a touchdown. Well, the guys you look for down here is, one, Jimmy Graham, and then secondly, Darren Sproles. Those are the 2 guys focused on most of the time.
Brees finds Sproles, who's down to the 4. That'll bring up 3rd down and goal. Witherspoon was there defending for the Titans. There's another long drive, but how will it end? In 7 or 3 points. This is play number 14. Jimmy Graham at the bottom. That's where Brees goes. What a catch. Now they say out of bounds. He made the catch, but he was out of bounds. And it's 4th down. Let's take another look.
Well, he gets his left foot down, and his left knee as well, Joe. And if that's the case, as he comes down, watch the left knee. His knee clearly is in. 1 knee equals 2 feet, according to John Madden. Now, the right toe did not look to me, Joe, to be on the line of scrimmage as he came down.
You mean on the boundary? I agree with you. There was some uncertainty if that right foot and the toes came down on the line. I don't think it did either. New Orleans challenges. I think they'll win this. This looked like a touchdown to me.
Looked like a touchdown to me, and actually pretty good coverage by Michael Griffin on this play.
It could very well be touchdown number 9 for Jimmy Graham, and the first of the day for the Saints. We'll get the call when we come back. We're going to get the call momentarily. I want Mike Pereira, our rules official, an expert, to go on record. What do you think, Mike? Quick.
Man, I'll tell you, I still say stands.
Stands.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Incomplete pass. New Orleans is charged with the first team timeout.
Well, you and I, Troy, thought that was a touchdown because the right foot did not come down out of bounds, but they didn't see enough to overturn the call.
Yeah, I watching this, Joe, I think that right toe, I think Jimmy Graham, from what I see, I think he kept it off the turf, and I think it was a touchdown, but I think it was all based on what the ruling initially was. Had this have been ruled a touchdown, I think they would have kept that. You see clearly the right toe's off the ground from that angle.
And Sean Payton can't believe it. I'm sure, first of all, they played it on the board here. I think he looked at it and thought it was a touchdown all the way.
Come here. We got it.
Instead, this stays a one-score game, no matter what happens with Casey, who will try from 22.
Give Tennessee credit, you know. I mean, here the Saints have gotten down here 3 times. 3 times they've had to settle for field goals.
A 22-yard try makes it a 9-3 game. Graham came oh so close. They ruled out of bounds. They reviewed it, said still out of bounds. Maybe there was some movement along that boundary. Munchak's pumped up. It's a 6-point game. For all of you Saints fans or people who have Jimmy Graham on your fantasy team, we're going to allow you to sleep better tonight by showing you a replay and blowing it up. We should have known never to go against Pereira. He was right again. And here is a kick that takes a couple of bounces. Mariani picks it up. Crosses the 20, but not much more. Courtney Roby again on the tackle for the Saints. Watch this. Watch the grass come up as his toe goes down and you blow it up. And there's actually movement. I mean, it's like literally one blade of grass on that boundary that comes up. So the long cleats that we talked about coming in, the extra long cleats, this grass field, it was long enough to bring up one blade on the white boundary to make it a 3-point trip into the red zone instead of a 7-point trip. Down by 6. That one's tipped at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. Franklin got his hand up and got a piece of that throw from Jake Locker. And this game statistically has been dominated by the Saints, and yet they lead by 6.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to credit this Tennessee defense for the job that they've done, holding this explosive offense to just 9 points. And now, you know, it's really on this offense. And we thought that would be the case coming into this game, that they were going to have to score a lot of points. They've not been able to score any points outside of that field goal. They just have not gotten anything going offensively.
Locker keeps it, stays on his feet, was going to run it all the way, and has a first down. He had a blocker out in front of him who was never looking for the ball. That was Locker to carry it.
Yeah, I agree, Joe. It looked like that was going to be a quarterback keeper the entire way. Tracy Porter had an opportunity to make a play, and he's not able to. And Locker shows some of his ability in being able to pick up that first down. Earlier on this possession, on the second down play, we saw him audible at the line of scrimmage. That's something he's very comfortable in doing, and one of the things that has been impressive to this coaching staff.
It's only the Titans' 7th first down of the game, and this one gets away from the rookie. Jake Locker is a big-bodied quarterback, 6'3", 234. And he was good for a 12-yard run. You can get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL to get NFL action right on your phone.
And we talked about Nate Washington and the surprise that he was able to come in and play after not having practiced all week. Watching him, a surprise to us, not a surprise to them. Looked like he might have re-aggravated that ankle on that last play.
Here is Locker. Johnson tried a one-handed catch and couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, they had a chance to make a play on that, and he ran into his own guy who was. Here's the play to Nate Washington that I was talking about at the end of this. It just looked like he came up limping a little bit.
Oh,
maybe
right
it was
there.
Maybe he got kicked on that ankle at the very end. He came out of the game, was not in the game on the second down play. Obviously, he's back out onto the field now. They had a chance on that last play to Chris Johnson, but just didn't time up real well with the offensive lineman, and he got his vision distracted and unable to make that catch on the screen.
Nate Washington, the top third down receiver regarding catches in the NFL. Here is a catch and move by Williams. Damian Williams down the sideline. Makes 2 moves and then gets hit right in the face, which is a penalty against the Saints. 54 yards to Damian Williams with yardage tacked on at the end.
Come on now. Let's go.
If you say they lack a big play guy with the injury to Kenny Britt, they just got the longest play of the season from Damian Williams.
No safety in the middle of the field. Locked up across the board. They bring pressure.
41.
The ball has to come out.
Automatic first down.
Patrick Robinson is in coverage. One-on-one, has to make the tackle. Williams makes him miss, and because there's no safety middle of the field, they called that zero blitz. He's then got a lot of room to run. There's the penalty on Harper to end that play in the altercation that ensues.
Hey, Washington got in the middle of it. It's the second personal foul against Harper in this game. And it moves the ball to the 6.
Well, 0 for 5 on third downs. Tennessee was prior to that last third down play.
54 yards. And now Locker gets to the edge. Out of bounds near the 1. Oh, touchdown. They're going to call it a touchdown. And with the extra point to come, Tennessee can go on top. Let's take another look.
Yeah, I mean, as he's going out, that's just great awareness there by Jake Locker as he's going out of bounds and gets hit. He has the presence in mind to extend the ball, and it's got to cross the plane. Obviously, this will be reviewed. But it sure looked to me, Joe, like he was able to break the plane with the ball inside the pylon, which is what has to happen.
Boy, that was awfully close. It's a scoring play, so they'll give it a look no matter what.
We'll review the previous play.
And we're going to go into a complete review. He got knocked out. They're saying he crossed the plane. I have a feeling we may hear from Mike Pereira.
The field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Now they're going to confirm it and say touchdown.
Well, it just goes to show you, Joe. I mean, you hang in there, and you know, in a game like this, a low-scoring game, it just takes one play. That one play came on third down, the missed tackle by Patrick Robinson, the scramble by Jake Locker, and now you've got a tie ball game, potentially a one-point lead by the Titans.
First career rushing touchdown for the rookie Jake Locker. Here's Mike Pereira. Was that the right call in your mind, Mike?
Absolutely. The ball just has to get over the top or inside of the pylon, and they could confirm that.
They confirmed it without going into a full review. Touchdown Locker, 1-point lead Titans. The rookie Jake Locker with his first career rushing touchdown. He was in the game because 11 minutes, 18 seconds in, Hasselbeck went down. Big completion on third down to Damian Williams, set it up. And Locker showed what he can do running the ball on 2 different carries during that drive. Varonis kicks it away as the Titans have a 1-point lead in a game they need. Here's Sproles, runs into his own guy. Can't make the 25. Got out to the 23, and a player is down for the Titans. Here's the injury, 11:18 left in the second quarter. A pulled calf for Hasselbeck. They've been working on that since, and it led to Locker's opportunity, and he made the most out of it, getting that touchdown.
You know, when we first had the injury to Matt Hasselbeck, as we see him congratulate Jake Locker on that drive, I really thought that we would see Hasselbeck come back into the game. Having had a calf injury myself, though, that's not an easy one to come back from, depending on the severity of the injury. But Jake Locker, a guy who doesn't get a lot of snaps during the week in practice with this first-team offense. He's gotten some playing time, as you said, Joe, earlier in the season. It was a nice drive on his part.
Now Breeze is trailing for the first time, hits Moore. They threw a flag on that kickoff Remember the kicking team being offside at the kick, so they tacked on 5 yards at the end of the kick return. And the drive starts at the 28. 7-yard completion to Lance Moore to bring up 2nd and 3.
Drew Brees is probably just scratching his head at the idea that they've only scored 9 points. You know, with some of the things that they've been able to do offensively, and not to come away with more.
Here's Pierre Thomas. And Pierre is knocked down right at the marker. If you look at this game from Tennessee's side, it's easy. They're 7-5. They need a win here at home over the Saints. If you look at it, we're going to have a measurement from the Saints side. They're close to wrapping up their division, but they still have thoughts about a number 2 seed as they chase the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers have a home game against Pittsburgh, otherwise 3 games against the NFC West. And this is inches short. I mean, 1 link on that chain short of a first down. And an opportunity here, Troy, for the Saints and Drew Brees to prove they can win a tight game on the road, on the grass, in chilly weather.
Yeah, a lot of discussion coming into this game about how they're not the same team on the road, especially outdoors. And I think they had hoped to be able to put a lot of that behind them. Certainly they can with a win, but
Brees keeps it and gets it.
Offensively anyway, not coming away with more points in this game than they have. But as I said to Drew Brees yesterday when we had a chance to visit with him, you know, you tend to take a lot of things for granted if you're a Saints fan, or even if you're within this organization. One, with Drew Brees' performances week in and week out, and then the way that this offense is able to score points.
Brees has gone 39 straight games with a touchdown pass. Second longest streak ever to Johnny Unitas. This one is fought for and wrestled away. It looked like for a moment by Henderson, but there is a battle for the football as both came down at the same time with it. Verner and Henderson.
Yeah, it looked to me like a simultaneous catch, and if that's the case, then Henderson keeps the ball. But once it went to the ground, you know, then they're trying to rip it. Verner trying to rip it out of his hands. You see, they both have it, and then there's a scrum.
Simultaneous catch goes to the offensive. Already said it stays with New Orleans as we go to the 4th in Nashville. We start the 4th quarter here in Tennessee. It's been 39 straight with a touchdown pass for Drew Brees. All-time record Johnny Unitas with 47 back in the late 50s. Here's Gilmore, the tight end, and he takes it to the 40. Well, this New Orleans team has won 4 straight. They clinch a division today with a win and an Atlanta loss. Wild card chase right now is wide open, with the Giants playing a big one tonight at Dallas. Dallas with a 1-game lead in the NFC East. Pierre Thomas has a first down.
We heard Jimmy Johnson earlier today say that he thinks that whoever does not win the NFC East won't make the playoffs. I think it's going to be a tight race, but as you said, that's a huge game tonight within that division with the Cowboys and Giants.
Dallas at 7-5, the Giants at 6-6. And they've lost 4 straight. Delayed handoff to Sproles. Brought down immediately. And the play made by Ball.
Well, Dave Ball is one of those guys that I know Jerry Gray, when I said, hey, who's the one guy you want to see on the field? He is right here. He's going to, I'm sorry, he came from the other side, but Dave Ball is the guy who Jerry Gray says we want to see on the field in all situations.
He's had an impact in this game. It's 2nd down and 12. 4-man rush. Brees steps up, Hits Graham, who takes it to the 35. Bring up 3rd down and 6. It's Jimmy Graham. You talk about guys who play this game above the field. Graham can go up and get it like Calvin Johnson can with the Lions. Tough to defend. It's 3rd down and 6. Would be a 53-yard field goal from this spot. Breeze down the middle, wide open. Colston for the touchdown. Somebody forgot about number 12, and the Saints back on top. And that's 40 straight for Drew Brees with a touchdown pass.
Well, you see the safeties here. They're in 2 deep coverage, and so that's the vulnerability of the coverages down the middle. Now, with that kind of time in the pocket, that puts a lot of stress on the defensive backs to be able to hold up. And Marcus Colston, he just meanders down the middle of the field, and Brees finds him.
The guy who broke his collarbone in the opener in the final minute at Green Bay has his 4th touchdown. Left alone, 35 yards, and just like that, the Saints back on top.
Today's game is sponsored by Nissan. Innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation for all. By Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide is on your side. And by Sprint. All football, no limits. Only from Sprint.
So Drew Brees is now 7 from a tie with Johnny Unitas. Got the 2nd longest streak all time. 40 now, 40 straight games for the touchdown pass for the great Drew Brees. And there is touchback number 50. We go back to Marcus Colston, who was behind the defense.
Yeah, no, he's going to go to the middle of the field, and like I said, it was all set up. If you're able to get pressure then on Drew Brees in the pocket, then he's not able to just sit there and survey the field and find Colston going down the middle, but they just were unable to do that. So they end up turning Colston loose. He makes a nice catch on the back end of the play and then gets the ball into the end zone for the touchdown.
There's his day as the Titans with Jake Locker started at the 20. Chris Johnson has not gotten on a roll today. These fans here were frustrated after that holdout signed right before the beginning of the regular season. 4-year, $53.5 million deal, and he was held to an average of under 51 yards per game into the Tampa Bay game 3 weeks ago. 3 of the last 4 games he's been hot. Back-to-back good ones, but just about nothing today against New Orleans.
3 of those 4 games, yeah, against teams that just were not good against the run. And the Saints, for the most part this year, they haven't been good, but they've been outstanding this afternoon.
Only 9 carries, 20 yards for Johnson, and Locker is sacked. Back at the 11. Will Smith is taking bows, and Martez Wilson was there for the Saints.
Well, just tight man coverage. You see they're trying to run that natural picking action the Tennessee Titans are, but just no separation. That's where Locker was looking, to his left side, and then when the collision happened, he didn't have anywhere to go with the ball. Tries to make something happen, but Will Smith there to make a play.
Loss of 9, and that's the first New Orleans sack of the day. 3rd down and 19. Locker throws it flat-footed out of the reach of Roman Harper. Nate Washington the closest to it, and Will Smith ended up with his arms around the legs of Jake Locker.
Well, it's just, 3rd and that kind of yardage to pick up for a first down. Good luck. And you've got so many different looks then that you're going to get from New Orleans. That's just hard on a rookie quarterback. He had a little bit of time in the pocket, but just not much there.
Kern will punt it. Here's a chance for Darren Sproles. See how good the punt is. The fourth-year player out of Toledo. Sproles with a bobble, and he hangs on. Takes it into Titan territory. 5-yard return after a 43-yard punt. Saints up by 6 with the football. Best starting field position for the Saints, who have won 4 straight. During that streak, they've turned the ball over offensively only once. Trying to go their 4th straight game without a turnover. On first down, Breeze finds the fullback, Jed Collins, but a flag is thrown. And it's offensive pass interference.
Pass interference. Offense number 45, a push-off. 10-yard penalty is still first down.
They get Jed Collins, who caught the pass from Drew Brees. Here are the numbers for Brees, and he is still on that pace to break the Marino record. Down a bit today to this point. But he has thrown for a total of 282 yards, and that makes you giggle because that's what you talk about. People just expect him to go 300 yards like it's no big deal.
You imagine breaking Marino's record, which has stood for 27 years, and not be the league MVP?
3 guys have a shot at it. Leading that MVP race as Sproles makes the catch is obviously Aaron Rodgers. Let's go for a game break. Here's Kurt.
Falcons were down 23-7 at halftime in Carolina, but they put up 17 unanswered. Matt Ryan to Julio Jones for a 17-yard score, and Atlanta has now taken the lead in the 4th quarter. A game they need to win to keep playoff hopes alive. 24-23 right now. Joe Torre and Pat.
All right, Kurt, thanks. So Atlanta, the winners of the division last year, 2 games behind New Orleans in that wild card chase. Leading against Carolina now. Underneath, passes caught by Thomas on 2nd and 8. He picked up 4. McCarthy, the rookie middle linebacker who was playing for the injured Barrett Ruud. 4th consecutive start for McCarthy, made the tackle.
Well, now we'll see what Tennessee's able to do here on 3rd down. New Orleans, as I said, came into the game best in football on this down. They've been outstanding again today, but if they pick up a first down here, in all likelihood, they will come away with points on this drive. So a big down here for Tennessee.
Saints are 9 of 15 on 3rd down. 3rd down and 4, and the pass is caught by Henderson for a first down.
It's the out route by Devery Henderson, and Drew Brees gets it out there, and Henderson goes down and makes the play on it in a first down. And so, here they are with 1st and 10 on the 39-yard line. A chance for Tennessee to have gotten off the field had they been able to make a stop.
Saints with a chance to make it a 2-possession game as they pound it inside the 35. Pierre Thomas good for 6. Michael Griffin, the safety, on the tackle.
That's, to me, what's been so impressive about the Saints offense throughout the year is Drew Brees is still accumulating a lot of yardage throwing the ball, as we've said, but this team runs the ball much better than they did a year ago. Not a very good running team last season. This year they're a top 10 running team, and yet they still have the explosiveness of the passing game.
Small chunks down the field. He's over 300 for the day. Broken play, and Brees fakes a throw and is going to come up just short of a first down. And that play wasn't right from the beginning.
No, there was a confusion there on exactly how that play was going to be run with Darren Sproles and then Drew Brees, and couldn't tell if Brees thought it was going to be a handoff, but clearly confusion, and yet he's still able to get pretty good yardage out of the play with no blockers.
3rd down and less than a yard.
All right.
Okay. Thank you for your concern. Hand off to Ivory. And Chris Ivory's got the first down by a yard. And With 7.5 to go, Ivory, who's been a healthy and active for 3 straight games, and they have a lot of weapons back there at running back, and really a difference from a year ago for the Saints. Their ground game at times can be just as devastating as what they can do through the air. Well, that might be an overstatement, but they can run the ball.
I'll go with it. Yeah.
Okay. Breeze steps up, looking for Colston. He's got him again. What a perfect throw from Drew Brees to Marcus Colston for his 2nd of the day.
You see the protection. You know, you got good protection up front, and then they get Colston. You see they stack him there on the left side. They got Finnegan. It looked like Finnegan had a chance to maybe make a play on that, but because of the way that the receivers were running that combination route, they got Finnegan pulled away, and then Breeze was able to hit Colston in the seam.
Going for 2 to make it a 14-point game. They hand off. Pierre Thomas does not get it. And so it stays a 12-point game. But they try the 2-point conversion now after it is a 2-possession game in Nashville. Colston's got 2. Saints up by 12.
Today's game is sponsored by UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you.
Marcus Colston has his 3rd 100-yard game of the season, 19th of his career, his 10th multi-touchdown game of his career, and it's been 13 unanswered points after the Titans went up by 1. It's a 12-point game, and Mariani on the return. Nice return out to the 35. We take a look into the eyes of Drew Brees, who delivered it perfectly into the hands of Marcus Colston. Saints at 9-3, up by 12. The veteran on the left, the rookie on the right. And it's up to number 10, Jake Locker, to try and resuscitate the Titans here, now down by 12. The record of 7-5. Split Chris Johnson out wide to the left, and the pass is caught by Damian Williams for 8.
Well, if they're going to do it, the Tennessee Titans, that is, it's going to have to start right here with just over 6 minutes to play and down 2 scores. They've got to come away with a touchdown on this drive.
Locker pulls it down and will run. Slide near the 40 with a first down. And a pickup of 17 yards.
Well, you see right here, the linebackers, they're going to go try to get underneath the routes, and so because they're turning and running, you can see how much field then Locker had in order to pick up that yardage.
Longest run of his brief NFL career on 1st and 10. He's going to go for it all. Washington. How about that for a quick strike? Touchdown.
Really nice read by Jake Locker, knowing exactly what he had based on coverage, based on safety position. He's going to work here, so now you got the seam on that side of the ball. As soon as safety works opposite, you know that you've got a chance if the receiver can win on the route. He does. Nice throw by Locker, and what a nice job by Tennessee responding to the touchdown by the Saints and matching it on the very next possession.
Injured his ankle last weekend. He was out during the week, did not practice on Friday. And Nate Washington, who's having a career year, with a 40-yard touchdown catch. And the Titans just went 65 yards in 63 seconds to make it a 5-point game.
That's a good job on their part. Like I said, I mean, down as much as they're down, you have to make something happen. And, you know, Jake Locker shows great poise in the pocket and delivers a nice throw right here. And that's good work, too, by Nate Washington. You talked about him, Joe, and, you know, obviously banged up coming into this game, but great concentration at the end of that play to make the catch with contact made and score the touchdown. You know, in talking with Mike Munchak the other day, we were asking about Jake Locker, and, you know, he's the guy that Munchak wanted. You know, of the quarterbacks that came out in this draft, he said we like the way he competed and we like the poise that he has shown. In fact, he said in a lot of ways Jake Locker acts like more of the veteran quarterback than Matt Hasselbeck does, that he just kind of rolls with things, doesn't get too uptight, is very calm, and that'll serve him well as a quarterback in the NFL if you can maintain an even keel throughout a season, throughout a game, even as we've seen here today. That's a positive quality to have.
Now the Saints are just preparing for an onside kick, but at this point, there's 6 minutes to play. Time is not really a factor, especially Tennessee with their timeouts. But they are up to guard against it with Sproles, the only deep man, at the 20.
Yeah, there's no way Tennessee kicks an onside kick here. I'm surprised that there's any consideration by the Saints that might happen. Drew Brees is hard enough to stop when he has to go 80 yards, let alone 50.
And it's Baronis to kick it away. A lot of fans headed for the exits after that last touchdown. This one is boomed into the back of the end zone. Sproles will take a knee. The Saints will start up 5 at their own 20. This February, NASCAR's best will converge on the Daytona International Speedway for NASCAR's biggest race. Defending Sprint Cup Series champion Tony Stewart. What an end to their season. Rookie Danica Patrick highlight a full field driver looking to take home auto racing's ultimate prize. Fox Sports brings you the Great American Race, 54th running of the Daytona 500, February 26th. And our good buddy Darrell Waltrip and crew will be there calling it.
Yeah, in fact, Darrell Waltrip lives right here in Nashville. I wouldn't be surprised if he's somewhere at this game watching it.
Crowd climbs back in it. Lance Moore makes the catch and hops out of bounds after a gain of 6.
Now this defense has done a pretty good job overall, all things considered, in this game. And now it's going to come down to Jerry Gray and this group once again as to whether or not they can make a key stop against this offense that has started to get things going here the last few times they've had the ball.
Mentioned the 4-game winning streak for the Saints, have averaged 33 points a game during the streak. Only 22 today. Room for Brees, rolling right and throwing to Henderson. Now incomplete. It hit the ground. Incomplete pass. 3rd down coming up. And Peyton's thinking about throwing a challenge flag as we get another look at it.
Yeah, I agree with that call right there. You know, you saw the tip of the ball before he really had possession of it hit the turf. Sean put the red flag back in the back pocket.
I think he's telling somebody trying his headset to relax. We're going to take a timeout and look at that again. So they're going to take their time to see if they want to throw the challenge flag. As you look at that play and catch, or non-catch as it was called by Henderson. So they're just buying time to get another look. New Orleans with only 1 timeout remaining. And it's 3rd down. And no challenge.
Well, I think that's smart. I mean, I think you could argue both sides of it, you know, but without his hand being underneath the ball, and then with the call that was made on the field, I don't think that's a challenge that he would have won, and he doesn't think so either, so he doesn't challenge it.
3rd down and 4, big one with 5:23 left. is sacked by the rookie Klug.
Well, Klug, he just wins immediately up the middle. And so they try to go with a bunch set to Breeze's right. He doesn't see that Klug gets pressure immediately in his face, and he's able to make a key play on third down to give the ball back to their offense.
Mariani waits for the punt. Good punt. From the 26. Mariani survives one hit, cannot survive the next. Roby again. And now, in his biggest moment, Jake Locker will trot out to the field coming off that quick strike down by 5. And this will be fun to see how Jake Locker does against the Saints in this position.
Yeah, it sure will. You know, I mean, on that last possession, they needed to go down the field and score a touchdown. And just a few plays later, and he's able to do that with a perfectly thrown ball there to Nate Washington. And now with it being a 5-point game, you know, they have certainly put the pressure back on this Saints team, but a nice job defensively getting off the field on third down against a group that had had a lot of success on that down throughout this game.
Locker ducks out of trouble. And he'll pull it down and turn it into a small positive play. As he gets to Jolon Dunbar is there to force him out. Second down with under 4.5 to go. Matt Hasselbeck wondering if the play of Locker will be enough to get a win and get this Titans team to 8-5 and still very much alive in the AFC playoff race. Locker has actually outrushed Chris Johnson in this game. Pass caught by Washington. Out of bounds at the Saints 45. First down.
Well, New Orleans is playing what looks to be a lot like a prevent defense and not wanting to give anything up down the field. And Jake Locker, a lot of times a young quarterback in this situation will start forcing some throws up the field, but he hasn't done that. He's shown great restraint in not forcing balls coming underneath to Nate Washington on that last play to pick up the first down.
4:21 left. Saints, by the way, should they fall behind, have only one timeout remaining. This one is batted down. Incomplete. Second down and 10. Jolon Dunbar got his hand on it. Knocked it up into the air and down for the incompletion.
You know, it's interesting when you're talking about how do you play a young quarterback. You know, sometimes if you rush 3 guys, drop 8 into coverage, make him really see the field and understand what it is that he is seeing, as opposed to when you bring pressure, then as a young quarterback, you know, okay, one-on-one, and you don't have to do as much thinking in those situations. So Greg Williams trying to weigh how we're going to attack this guy.
Extra men on the rush. Pass incomplete for Damian Williams. Coverage by Patrick Robinson. Last year's #1 pick out of Florida State.
Well, pretty physical at the line of scrimmage. He gets his hand, Robinson does, on Williams, and, you know, completely disrupts the timing of that pass.
Titans have 2 downs to get 10 yards. You'd have to believe the ball at the 45-yard line. It's 3rd down and 10. Locker completes. Washington doing all he can, but the tackle wraps him up short of a first down.
New Orleans just kind of gave that one to Tennessee. They just said, okay, it's 3rd and long, and, you know, they were playing more of the deeper routes, and so they got the completion very easily. And at 4th and inches, this is a no-brainer. Surely you're going for it.
These guys are 9 for 11. The Titans are offensively on 4th down. Got Chris Johnson in a tailback. And they toss it to him. Needing his speed to get there, and he's got it. First down, Tennessee, after Johnson got around Patrick Robinson.
They pack it inside, and you know that that's what New Orleans is expecting. And then Robinson here is the guy who he's got to beat because he's got the angle. If he's able to make a tackle there, he holds him short of the first down. But that's asking a lot to try to get Chris Johnson to the ground with that kind of angle.
First down with Jake Locker at the controls. That's Jamie Harper in motion. Pressure, big hit, and that pass is out, incomplete. Tracy Porter delivered the hit. This is interesting. The referee, Troy, was going to say that ball was out, but it was the two officials downfield that were signaling that the ball was tipped and ruling it incomplete. But Carey was letting this play go, and now they're going to get into a discussion. I think Carey's initial call was this ball was out and was therefore a fumble.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by New Orleans, declared dead at the spot of recovery. First down.
Yeah, I think this is, it looks to me, Joe, like this is a, let's see here, get a closer look at it. It looked to me like it was going to be an incomplete pass. His arm's going forward, his hand's going forward. You know, the hit had something to do with that, but as long as the hand is going forward, which to me it is, I think that's an incomplete pass and is coming back. But clearly, Jake Locker never sees Tracy Porter coming on the blitz.
And the hit by Porter has Locker down, and he's getting looked at by the trainer. Their other quarterback is Rusty Smith. He's not active, so if they keep the ball, which we expect them to do, Matt Hasselbeck is getting ready to come back into the game.
Well, and you can see they're trying to stretch that calf out now as quickly as they can. He's been on the sidelines standing and walking around. They're trying to stretch it out, get him loose and get him out there ready to go.
And Locker is really dazed after that hit. We'll bring in Mike Pereira. Mike, did you see what we saw, that there was enough of the arm going forward to keep this ball with Tennessee?
You know, I got to tell you, Joe, it seems to me, which I've been watching all day today and last week, they're staying with the ruling on the field. And is that ball beginning to come loose just when that contact is made there? Is it starting to roll out of his hands there before the hand starts forward? You know, I thought last week, same type of play. Watch the ball there. Is it starting to come loose in his hand? I don't know. To me, this is a pass. I agree with you that this is a pass. Will they reverse it? I think they should, because
this
to me, he has
Brady.
enough control.
This is Tom Brady in the snow. This is that.
Well,
this is that tuck. This is exactly the textbook call that they would make. But I mean, it's not that clear cut, but it certainly looks like the arm is going forward.
Yeah, and again, the tucking motion is when you bring it back towards your body. Just the question here is hand, and you're only talking about the hand, with total control of the ball, and has it started to move forward with total control? Forget the contact by the defender there. Doesn't hit his arm. To me, like you say, this to me should be an incomplete forward pass. Recognizing, though, they did call it on the field as a fumble.
Yeah, they did, and it was Mike Carey who was letting that play go. Now you see the umpire there saying it's an incomplete pass, but Carey let that play go, and we thank Mike Pereira for jumping in. It's a Tennessee challenge. That means that Locker can come back into the ball game. He looks to be okay. Let's get the call from Mike Carey.
After review, it was a forward pass, incomplete. It will be second down and 10 on the 33-yard line. New Orleans hash mark, please put 3:20 on the game clock. 3:20 on the game clock, please.
Locker looks to be okay on the sideline, but Hasselbeck is out there in the huddle.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing that Jake Locker is going to be okay, it appears, to come back into this game. We saw them working on Matt Hasselbeck, trying to get that calf loose. I did not see him throw a pass to warm his arm up prior to coming out onto the field, and you wonder how loose then he is to throw the ball.
It's 2nd down and 10. Locker is up and watching Hasselbeck, who left with just over 11 minutes left in the first half. He swings it to Chris Johnson. What a hit by Jenkins, and there wasn't anybody else over there for the Saints. Jenkins saved a big play, a gain of 9.
Boy, you're not kidding, because you're talking about one of the elite players in all of football out in open space. And Jenkins is able to come up one-on-one right here. Are you kidding me? How many guys are going to be able to make that play when Chris Johnson has a two-way break on a receiver or on a defender?
Hasselbeck on the sideline. Jake Locker back in. 2:45 to go and counting. 3rd down and 1. A short one. This one floated. Williams incomplete, and instead of trying to pick up the first down on 3rd and inches, now this comeback hinges on a 4th and inches play.
Yeah, I don't like the call. I don't like the call here on 3rd and short. You know, he had him beat and he's got a chance, but you got to pick up this first down, and it goes back to the tackle then that Malcolm Jenkins was able to make, and Chris Johnson not getting the first down. Now, you know, here we are at 4th and 1. Instead, you know, with plenty of time on the clock, 3rd and 1, the most important thing was getting the first down first. You had 2 chances to do that.
They've already converted 1 4th down on this drive. Timeout Tennessee, and why not? They've got 3 plus the 2-minute warning with 2.5 to go, but this whole thing rides on a 4th and inches after the timeout. How about the day for Jake Locker? He's shown what he can do with his legs and with his arm. Completing passes, his first NFL rushing touchdown, then threw a beauty to Nate Washington to make this a 5-point game.
Well, his most extensive playing time a few weeks back against Atlanta when he came in. He did a nice job then as well. It's been impressive what he's been able to do. Again, coming off the bench, didn't enter this game anticipating that he'd be playing, and yet he's been able to rally a comeback. But you're right, Joe. I mean, it comes down now to what they do here on 4th and 1.
Locker keeps it and fights his way forward, looks to have enough. At least by the head linesman on this side. They're going to give it to the man on the far side. Well, it's going to be an interesting spot. The 2 officials came in different spots. And we're going to have a measurement.
It's going to be tight, as you can tell.
Wow. I mean, that is right there. The head linesman came in from this side and gave him a, I don't know, another 4 or 5 inches. New Orleans takes over, and you can go back to that 3rd down call. 3rd and inches, not getting the first down. It came down to a 4th down, and the Saints make the stop.
Yeah, I think you're right, Joe. And you're on 3rd down, and you can look at it and say, okay, we can run the ball to pick up the necessary yardage to get the first down. Instead, they go for the home run. Had a chance. But even with this at 4th down, you know, you've got to be able to pick that up. The Saints do a great job defensively, you know, for a defense throughout this game. Now, granted, they're without the starting quarterback. The Titans are not an explosive offensive group, but Greg Williams and that defense has given up over 460 yards in each of the last 3 games. They were challenged in this game to contain Chris Johnson. They've done that. They made a beautiful 4th down stop on that last play.
Now time to run it. 2 timeouts left for Tennessee, and Ivory will pick up a first down as we approach the 2-minute warning here in Nashville. Greg Williams is tired of hearing about how poor his defense is. They make a big stop on 4th and inches, take over, and may very well be headed to win number 10. See what the Saints have in front of them. They're on their way to an NFC South divisional title. They clinch a berth with a win and a Detroit or Chicago loss. They clinch the division with a win and an Atlanta loss. Last check, Atlanta is up by a point over Carolina. Detroit is up as well. Chicago plays in moments out in Denver. 2 minutes left on first down. It's Ivory to the line of scrimmage. That's it. And Tennessee will spend one of their 2 remaining timeouts. Let's go back and look at that last possession. And first, the catch and run by Chris Johnson.
Yeah, we're going to see Chris Johnson. How much field is there? Instead, he's going to think about making a double move, but had a break on Malcolm Jenkins. Great tackle by Malcolm Jenkins, but it looked to me like Chris Johnson, had he have just been determined to get the first down, he could have picked it up on that swing pass. Instead, here's the 4th down play. No movement in the line of scrimmage. Great job by the big guys in the middle for the Saints, and a key stop. But credit Malcolm Jenkins for making that stop on 2nd down to keep them from picking up the first down at that time and stalling this drive.
It eventually ended on downs on that 4th down sneak by Locker. Now 2nd and 10. Ivory again. 1 timeout left, and the Titans will take it right now. It'll be 3rd down, and the Titans will get the ball back if the Saints don't get a first down. We look ahead to next week, and it starts with the Built Ford Tough NFL Sunday pregame show beginning at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And they're the games: Redskins, Giants, Packers, and Chiefs. Saints at the Vikings, and we look at the rest of their schedule. They're hoping to go to 10-3 here today, win their 5th straight. They're at Minnesota, and then at home in the division against Atlanta and Carolina. They've already defeated Atlanta once, and they have a 2-game lead at the start of the day over the Falcons in the NFC South. It's 3rd down and 7 here. There will be time on the clock if the Titans can get a stop. They are out of timeouts. They need to get it and get it into the end zone. Breeze. Why not put it in his hands? That was nearly picked off by Casey. What a dangerous throw, and that stops the clock with 1:44 remaining.
Well, you ain't kidding, Joe. I mean, 3rd down, most coaches would run the ball here and make them, or run the clock down if they aren't able to pick up the first down. There's so much confidence in Drew Brees that he's not going to make a mistake, yet that's exactly what he almost did with Jarrell Casey, the rookie, coming out in coverage and had a golden opportunity to get an interception on that play.
And the incompletion costs the Saints, what, about 40 seconds on the clock as Morstead hits it. There's already a flag down. Mariani on the return out to the 20, but there are 2 flags down. 3 flags down. Drew Brees came awfully close to throwing a deadly interception on that 3rd down pass. There are 3 separate flags down on the field. Here's Mike Carey, who has been busy.
"12 men on the defense has declined. First down."
Let's go back to that play by Jarrell Casey.
You're going to see Jarrell Casey, 99. And as he comes out, he started on the left side of the defense, and then he comes out and he has a chance to undercut that throw. And even when he tipped it up, I thought he was going to be able to come back and make a play. I was asking a lot of a defensive lineman. but a nice job on his part. You're right, Joe. Valuable seconds they were able to preserve by the Saints deciding to throw it.
So now it's not unrealistic as the catch is made by Hawkins. 25 yards, and what a start to this drive. Clock continues to wind. Pass caught by Washington, and he lays down right at the 45. Well, if Greg Williams is tired of hearing about his defense and their struggles, here's another opportunity. They give Washington a first down.
And Jake Locker, he knows this no huddle and can operate it just like Hasselbeck.
How about a handoff with a minute to go and no timeouts?
I don't get that one either.
And now all of this time being wasted.
Hey, Lester. Mike 51, check go.
They need a big strike. Down the middle, Washington. They got a big strike to the 5.
Well, they'll come up and clock it now, and they'll have a couple shots to score once they get this clock stopped.
7 seconds left, and Washington ends up on the ground. We'd like to welcome those of you just joining us. They helped Nate Washington off the field. He just made this big play of 40 yards down to the 5-yard line. This game has been crazy. It looked like New Orleans had it in hand with a rookie quarterback, Jake Locker. A near interception thrown by Breeze the last time they had it. Now a chance to win it.
They want to get it out of his hand quick, so they'll have 2 shots. Expect a fade.
Quick throw, broken up. Nice play by Tracy Porter. Mariani was the intended receiver. That play took 2 seconds.
Yeah, good idea there with the play call. They don't throw the fade, they come back to the quick slant, but because it's a ball coming out of his hands quick, you anticipate that, so there is a chance then for another snap. Now with 5 seconds left, you've got to anticipate that this is going to be the last play of the game, and if you're Locker, then you can take some time on this.
It is 3rd down. Locker. This will be it. Down he goes. No flags, and the Saints win the game as Jolon Dunbar made the play.
Well, we talked about whether you bring pressure or whether you play coverage, and you see that the Saints, they show that they're going to bring the blitz. Instead, they go with a 3-man rush and drop 8 guys. They make the rookie find an open receiver, and there's nobody open. And so once he flushes, it becomes a scramble drill, and they're able to get to him before he gets it out. A shame for Tennessee that Locker's not at least able to get the ball out of his hands to give somebody a last-minute chance. But give the Saints defense credit, making a stop when they had to with the game on the line.
The final ends up 22-17. The Saints were tested here on the road, outside on the grass. Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints go to 10-3. The Titans now 7-6. With a big loss here at home to Sean Payton and the Saints. As we welcome you back to Tennessee, 22-17 is the final. As a side note, the Texans now clinch the AFC South with this loss here today by the Titans. They came oh so close. As we simplify the game, brought to you by Windows 7, the final play of the day. So the Texans win at Cincy. They win the South. And the Saints are on their way to winning the NFC South. The rookie almost did it. Got him down to the 5, but that's it. The AT&T postgame show coming up for Troy and Pam. I'm Joe. So long from Nashville.
And we welcome you to the AT&T postgame. Kurt Menefee along with Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. Some wild finishes here in Week 14 around the NFL, including New Orleans and Tennessee.
Matt Hasselbeck, quarterback for the Titans, would leave in the second quarter with a left calf injury, so takes over Jake Locker, a rookie out of Washington, scrambling for 6-yard touchdown, 10-9. It is the Titans on top of the visiting Saints. Then, fourth quarter, it is Drew Brees back, looking pumped right, back down the middle, wide open Marcus Colston, 35-yard touchdown. Brees' 10th game of the season where he threw for over 300-yard passing. It is New Orleans 16-10, and then Titans on the 5-yard line. Time running out. The rookie Locker doesn't throw it into the end zone. Saints get the win, 22-17. All right, I like that. That's your final.
All right. Let's get to Drew Brees after the game.
Okay, thanks a lot, Drew. What a test. What does a test like this mean at this stage of the game?
You got to be able to win games like this, on the road in a hostile environment against a very good team. And, it was back and forth all game long. I felt like, obviously, going into halftime, 6-3, and then, you kind of a shootout in the second half. Our defense came up with some huge plays down the stretch. Offensively, we were able to sustain drives, but obviously it came down to a nail-biter.
Explain that. Was it all penalties in the first half that slowed your offense?
Yeah, the penalties really hurt us in the first half. Negative plays and then penalties put us in a lot of second, third, and long situations, and it's a tough defense to get that kind of yardage against. So we went into halftime and just talked about obviously being disciplined, being smart, and putting together good drives, balanced drives, and we were able to do that in the second half.
Some kudos to your much maligned defense today.
Yeah, they did a great job. Obviously, it went down to the wire, and they came up with 2 huge goal line stops right there. Got to hand it to Jake Locker coming in and playing the way he did, and that Titans team. They're a great football team. It's a tough place to play. We're just glad to walk out of here with a win.
Appreciate it, Drew.
Thank you.
See you down the road. Back to you.
All right, more highlights to come, but obviously we've got some technical issues, so we'll get back right after this word. We'll open Fox News. Stick around.